someone sent in a resume, you can judge a person based on their name.
Right.
So what they said that is that they will assign a number to the person's resume rather than a name. So when the resume comes in, the computer assigns a number and removes the name. So you as the HR officer will review the resume and all you will know is that it's a number. So for example,
I understand that. So you're number 326.
Right.
Tanisha Jones.
Exactly. That's critical thinking, right? So they saw something and they say, listen, we can change this by critically thinking that let's assign numbers to a person rather than the HR person looking at the person's name and passing judgment. So the group comes up, mentoring. I'm like,
what was that in response to?
This was, the mentoring was, what were they doing? The hacking at Sony. So they were going to get people to mentor them to help them with the hacking. I'm like, what? This is critical thinking. How? Mentoring. So I was totally lost. And I told him, I said, I don't get it. And I sent them a document that gave them a roadmap about critically thinking. For example, if the company has certain policies, right, and you think that these are not right, these policies, you want to change those policies. Here is the policies we're going to implement. And we're going to change this policy to say, okay, we're going to do this. Think about it and see if you can come up with something like I'll give you an example. At the beginning of class, I tell them, right, how do you put an elephant in a refrigerator? And I told you this before.
Right.
How do you put an elephant in a refrigerator? Some people are like, well, you slice it, you slice it, you cut it up, and you put it in. Someone's like, you cut off the head, and you stuff it in the refrigerator. And I'm like, okay. So I said, it's really simple. It's just critical thinking. You open the refrigerator, and you put the elephant in the refrigerator. I didn't tell you what size the refrigerator is. I didn't tell you anything. So the next question was, how do you put a giraffe in the refrigerator? Some people say, well, you put a hole in the top of the refrigerator in order to put the giraffe in so his head can come out through the top. And I laughed. I said, no, it's easy. You open the refrigerator, you take the elephant out, and you put the giraffe in the refrigerator. Right? It's just,
Well, I think that having that thing cut off is critical thinking. I mean, they came up with a solution.
No, that's not critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
That's more of a solution. You come up with that. That's like a solution. Critical thinking means to say that something is being done a certain way, right? And you want to think about, how can we improve what that is, by doing it a little different. And one other group came up with something that was, genius. I forgot what it was. It was off the chart. It was really exactly critical thinking. I forgot what it was, but it was great. It was really good. So that's just me aside.
Anything you can see how exciting teaching can be.
No, it's a lot of excitement. It is. Well, you know what it is, though? It is what you make of it. Really and truly. Because some people, I'm not a boring professor. And I think I'm part motivational, part life skills, part organizational behavior. I don't just come into class and give you all the book says, organizational behavior. I want you to be able to think. We're talking about personality, we're talking about moods, we're talking about behavior traits, we're talking about all these different type of things. And I want you to be able to think as well. So these critical thinking projects is for you to think. And we talk about the management process, planning, leading, organizing, and controlling. I want you to think. I want you to be able to plan it. I want you to be able to lead it. I want you to be able to organize and also control. So, I'm giving you all these sort of assets, or for you to acquire these assets to do these things. And if you don't do it right, I'm going to be very critical of you. So you can see. So yeah, that's just a little bit there. So what else is local?
Well, the thing is that I had a meeting with one of the township people running.
Okay.
And
are you going to be the campaign manager or something?
No, of course not. The person said that they would not run as an independent because you can't make it in this town as an independent.
No, you can't.
Now, so you're running up against this big wall, but then at the same time, if your mind says that you're independent, I mean, and if you have to go along with the party line, whatever it may happen to be, this is why you get a 5-0 vote. No one bucks anything. No one requires anybody to do any thinking about anything. No one throws out any questions. So just to get on the township committee, you have to say, I'm going to be just like everyone else.
Yeah, that's
but why. The town is not... There are different elements in the town.
Marjorie, and that is why you raise such a fantastic point. And that is why it's a waste of my time to get on the township committee. It is actually because that would be the most wasted time ever. Because Marjorie, most of the times it's going to be 4-1. Most of the times, because it's like it's rare. Most of the times they vote along. They vote the same. Every once in a while they may go 4-1. Once in a while 3-2. But I remember I was in a community when I was in a community coalition race, right? We had to vote. They wanted to take this ordinance about if you live in a house that has 5,200 square feet, for example, right? You could only have 7 family members living in the house. And I said, well, wait a minute. I'm like, that's crazy, man. You guys are nuts. If it's my family, there might be 10 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. Right? But that's not their experience. So they want to pass an ordinance for that. I tell you, if you guys pass that ordinance and you guys are just going to go search people's houses in the eastern section, I want to make sure that you do the same thing for all the people in the western section as well. Because I can tell you that if it was my family, you would be displacing my family if I live in the eastern section. So I want you to know, if they got other people who have a 3-bedroom over here, that got people living up in the attic and got people living in the basement, I want to make sure that you check those people as well. But you're not going to do one thing for each section and not do things for the other section. Right? Critical thinking. So they was like, wow. No, maybe we don't want to alienate the black folks. So that ordinance was tabled. Now think about it. I was one of the only voices. There's about quite a few of us. One of the few voices that voiced that opinion. Because everybody else looked at it from a different perspective. Or everybody's had a different experience. Right? Because most of the people that live on the eastern section, they might be Haitians and people from the Caribbean. And when you're from the Caribbean, you got lots of family members. Mm-hmm. You got your nephew, you got your niece, you got your cousin, everybody.
And their friends, yes.
And their friends. Mm-hmm. And everybody's good. And we're going to live in a 3-bedroom apartment with 12 of us. It's just the way it is. It's normal. As we say in Trinidad, it's normal. Normal is a higher form of normal. I
think you just make this stuff up.
It is.
You make up stuff and you try to attribute it to Trinidad. But go ahead.
It's normal. So you see, Margie, what the point is here is that the different perspective that I brought to the table allowed them to see things a little differently. Right? So they tabled that ordinance.
So you could have done that same thing with the township committee.
No.
It would have been fun doing your campaign.
No, because the difference now is that you got to vote in these things. We kind of,
came to a consensus.
Yeah, we handled it. We said, you know what? We don't even want to put that to a vote. Let's just toss that out. And they did. They actually did. But with that township committee, that's politics. So
I mean, I don't know if they know something that we don't know. I just keep thinking I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
Assuming that they know something really cool that we don't know.
No, what's up? What's up with these ice dams? You heard what this things with these ice dams on your house? I read this story yesterday, but I thought I would bring it back up tonight again.
Share the ice dam story with us, please.
The ice dams, these are the ice things that form on your house.
The icicles?
Yeah, ice dams are forming so many roofs around town this winter that if you don't have one on your roof, it's likely your neighbor does, or you have heard tales of water-soaked living rooms. Ice dams have the potential to be very damaging to your home structure and possibly even your interiors if the problem is unaddressed. Last week, temperature rose significantly above freezing. We had a leak in the kitchen. My husband had shoveled as much snow and ice off the roof as he could, but it's impossible to reach safely. The temperature just rose too quickly, and with the gutters blocked by ice, there was no place for all the water to go, explained Vanessa, a South Orange resident. Most homeowners, especially those who are new to it, have no idea that the potential problem even exists. They have to turn to Google and YouTube in the midst of leaky ceilings for an explanation on why ice dams occur, what damages they can cause, and what they can do to avoid the development in future winters. So it's these, I guess, pocket of ice.
Yes, it's
forming
got
in your
nowhere
roof.
to go. The water's
And it got nowhere to go. And you know water already.
Mm-hmm.
When water can't find nowhere to go, man. I find that to be very interesting.
Anything else that's local?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Let me see what else we got local here. State aid for South Orange Maplewood School District remains level. Is in the Village Green.
Okay.
Despite enrollment increases and other stresses on the district finances, the South Orange Maplewood School District will receive the same amount of aid from the state of New Jersey for the 2015-2016 school year as it did for the 2014-2015 school year. That's good. Those numbers and more will be discussed at a special budget hearing to be held tonight at the administration building at 524.
But they say
Academy Street.
despite enrollment increases.
Yeah.
So that's,
Huh?
neither good nor bad. I mean,
Right.
it could
But-
have gone. I mean, it didn't go down, but
With all these new apartments we are getting.
well, what about the park testing that went off without a problem? Here it says the first 2 days of park testing in the district were uneventful with little way of technical glitches and relatively small percentage, roughly 2% of students who opted out of the test. Overall, the first 2 days of park have gone extremely well, said Acting Superintendent Memoli in an email. Approximately 1,500 students are taking the exam at the same time, and we experienced very few technical issues with our Chromebooks or network. Testing began Monday with students in grades 5, 8, and 11. Memoli said in a few instances of confusion with the use of the test administration software are addressed the same day, and testing continued as scheduled. There are 140 students whose parents refused the test, or 2% of the student body, Memoli said. Mm-hmm. Many thanks to teachers and administrators, especially the assistant superintendents, blah, blah, blah. The experience stands in contrast, though, here in Maplewood, to that of nearby Livingston Public Schools, which 1,100 student refusals out of 4,100. So that's a quarter of the people refused. students eligible to take the test, according to a district spokeswoman who said the number was more than we anticipated. The interim acting superintendent of schools in Livingston, Jim O'Neill, said in interviews with various media he believed parents decided to refuse